Okay, so I just did this lecture for a group of students and they told me that it really helped with all the color coding. I don't know if I've color coded for all my classes. I know I have for some of them. So what I want to do is I'm going to color code a little bit more with these questions. This was your homework last night. So very quickly, let's just quickly go through again. These are the rows. Oh geez, that's a big one. All right. These are the rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. But I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to color code them. I'm going to make this one row 1. And then this one's going to be row 2. I don't know why I'm making it yellow. If you can see it, get out of there. I'll make that one green. So row 2 is going to be green. Row 3 is going to be blue. And row 4 is going to be black. And so what does this correspond to? Well, this corresponds to the shells of the atom. For example, let's just make it atom number X, right? So let me change the middle color so it's nothing you've seen. So we'll do atom X right here, right? So atom number X has a bunch of shells. Let me make a real one then. Oh, I'll make a real one. I'll just make a real atom. Okay, so let's just make calcium. I'll make calcium right here for you. So here we go. There's my Ca. Now, this calcium has a bunch of shells going around the outside. My question to you is, what color would the first shell be? The first shell would be red. Why? Because this is the first shell. This red color right here is shell number 1. Okay. What color would the second shell be? Second shell is going to be green. So here's the second shell right here. Here's my second shell. And this is the row that correlates to the second one. So this is my second shell. What color would the third shell be? My third shell would be blue. So here's the third shell. And yep, you guessed it. I'm not going to draw it, but you can see that that would be it. And the fourth shell is going to be black. All right. Now, don't forget when we're doing this to leave out, I'll make it a different color, to leave out all of these in here, right? So we don't want to do these. These are not going to be part of our game, right? These we're going to come to later. We don't want to worry about those right now. Those guys are gone. All we're doing is worrying about the first 8. These 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? So very quickly. So we're trying to get to calcium. So this calcium is where we want to go. And it happens to be right here. So this is where we want to go, right here. So let's take a look. How many electrons will be on the first shell? Now, remember, calcium has 20 protons and 20 electrons because it's a neutral atom. So how many electrons would it have? Well, let's take a look. Let's get an electron color. We'll do this one here. There will be 2 electrons on the first shell, right? Now, how many electrons are there going to be on the second shell, right? There's one right there. There's another one right here. So all of these going across, there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're sitting here going, oh, so that row directly correlates. Yes, that row directly correlates. If we would stop the process right here, and I just erased some things, so you're going to have to pay attention. Okay? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I would stop the process right here, this would be nitrogen, because nitrogen has 5 electrons in its outer shell. But we're not doing nitrogen. We're working with calcium, so now we need to add these other ones in, and that's going to get us up to 10. So right now we're at 10. This is the shape that neon would have. Now we have to move on. Row 3 is going to have how many electrons? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? And then calcium is going to have how many electrons? calcium, row 4 is going to have 1, 2. So calcium is going to be 1, 2. And this is going to be what the shell structure looks like for calcium. It's going to have a bunch of electrons in the middle and 2 electrons on the very outside. So let's take a look at another example. Let me pause the video and erase everything. Okay, so we just cleaned out the screen. So now let's work out this first example, which was your homework. So the first question said, draw the shell model for lithium. Well, let's find lithium. So lithium is right here. Lithium is element number 3. So how many protons and electrons does it have? There are 3 protons and 3 electrons. How many shells does lithium have? Well, it looks like lithium's going to have 2 shells. We can always change that answer if we need to. So let's draw it through. Looks like we have 2 shells. 1. And then let's make the next one green because the second row is going to correlate to this. And now we have to say, how many electrons do we have? How many electrons do we have? Well, lithium has 3 electrons. So we have to fill in those 3 electrons. Where does the first electrons go? Well, the first 2 electrons are going to, oops, that's the wrong color. It's supposed to be purple. The first electrons are going to go right here for hydrogen. And helium, those 2. So the first row gets 2. 1, 2. And then we have 3 electrons. You see it right here. We have 3 electrons. We figured that out ahead of time. So now we're going to put in that 3rd electron right here. And this would be the shell model for lithium. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take you to this next one here. We want to go to lithium. This is question number 2 now. We want to go to lithium number 2. Okay? And this one's an Li with a plus charge. Okay? This is an Li with a plus charge. So let's draw that one. There's Li with a plus charge. So how many protons? Well, we're still working with lithium. Lithium is going to have 3 protons. Now the question is, how many electrons do we have? Remember, lithium right here has a plus charge. Remember, protons are positive, electrons are negative. Right here, this is saying that we have extra protons. Well, if I have 3 protons and I have 1 extra proton than electrons, then how many electrons must I have? If I have 3 protons and I have 1 extra, then I must only have 2 electrons. So that's what we have, 2 electrons. How many shells do we have? Looks like we have 2 again. Looks like we have 2 shells. So we'll draw it out like that because we're not sure. So we'll take a look here. We'll draw our first shell. It's going to be red to correlate with our red row. Our second one's going to be green, which is going to correlate with our green row, right? So let's draw these things out. So how many electrons do we have? We have 3 electrons. No, we have 2 electrons. So they're right here, 2 electrons. So the first one, 1, 2. I'm going to put those right here, 1, 2. Now the question is, do we put a 3rd electron out here? No, we can't put a 3rd electron out here because we only have 2 electrons. So there's nothing out there. Well, then what do we do out there? Remember from the first day we said there's no electrons in an orbital? That orbital doesn't exist. So we're just going to take this and erase this orbital right here. Hopefully that wasn't too long a time. And that's it. So hopefully that answered some questions that you have. I think I might start doing homework on Zoom or whatever this is called so you guys can review it.